Hey there, CyberSakhi back again for a third installment of our secure communication series. We have tackled how encryption keeps our data private, but it cannot stop Joker from tampering with that. To solve this problem, today we'll learn about hashing. Let's roll. In our last video, we talked about the CIA triad, where integrity ensures data isn't changed or tampered with. Remember that example of sending $500 to a friend but Joker flipping it to 50? Encryption alone stops him from reading our data, but it cannot stop him from modifying it.
In the digital world, when you send an encrypted message from your computer to any destination server, let's say bank, it goes through various servers, routers, and switches along the internet. Each hop forwards the data along its route. It's just like passing a note across several classmates. Internet works in the same way. If Joker owns or compromises any one of those intermediate servers, he still cannot read your message because he doesn't have your shared key. But encryption alone doesn't prevent him from modifying the encrypted data itself. Let us see this in action. I am sending a message to my bank. Hey bank, give Sam $100. Once it's encrypted, nobody along the way can read the contents of this message. But if Joker controls one of the intermediate servers, he still can't open the encrypted message because he doesn't have the key. However, since the message passes through his server, he can flip parts of the encrypted data itself. So Joker randomly messes with some bits of the encrypted message. He has no idea what he's changed because he doesn't have the key, just that these bits might mean something else after decryption. That is what happens. The bank unlocks the tempered message with the same key and sees $500 instead of 100. Because the same session key can unlock any box created in that session, Joker can completely replace our brown box with a grey one that the key will still decrypt, leading to tampering. That's why we need one extra step like hashing to ensure the contents haven't changed. Hashing is like blending fruit. Toss in apples, bananas, and blueberries, and you get a unique smoothie. If you add even one jalapeno to that, that smoothie's color and taste transform entirely. In the digital world, a hash function does the same thing, taking data of any size and producing a fixed size fingerprint for that data. Even flipping a single bit in the input changes the hash so drastically that it's obvious something was altered. Let us break down the key properties of hashing. One way or pre image resistance. If all you have is the final smoothie, you can't go back to its ingredients. That is, you can't get whole fruits back from the smoothie. It is a one way function. Similarly, if all you have is the hash, you shouldn't be able to reconstruct the original message. Deterministic. The same data always gives the same hash. No surprises. If you blend the same fruits twice, you get the same smoothie. Avalanche Effect. A tiny change in the message, like adding one fruit or flipping one bit, creates a completely different hash. It's as if our smoothie's color and flavor totally morph from just one extra blueberry or jalapeno. Collision resistance. It's incredibly hard to find two different inputs that produce the same hash. In our fruit analogy, you'd have to exactly replicate the taste, color, and texture with an entirely different set of fruits. Extremely unlikely. Let's talk about hash algorithms like MD5 and SHA-256 and the math behind them at a high level. Hash functions work by breaking your message into manageable chunks, often 5 and 2 bits each. Then they process these chunks one by one through a series of rounds to get the final hash, or also known as digest. To visualize this, think of having a big fruit basket that's your message. A hash function cuts the fruits into smaller, equally sized pieces or blocks. Each piece goes through our blender for several blend cycles or rounds, one by one, and each piece is blended into a smoothie mix of the previously blended pieces. By the end, you get a final smoothie, the hash digest, which is your data's unique fingerprint. In more technical terms, we split a larger string into smaller blocks. Block 1 goes through a bunch of math transformations like adds, shifts, XORs. That result flows into block 2, which goes through the same transformations and so on. Finally, we end up with a short output string that digests something like this. MD5 is one of the hashing algorithms. It uses 64 rounds of bitwise operations on each 512-bit block, but it is relatively old and collisions have been discovered, meaning two different inputs can produce the same MD5 digest. SHA-256 also uses 64 rounds, but its maths is more advanced with a larger set of constants. This makes finding collisions far harder. Collisions is a security risk because it allows attackers to substitute bad data for legitimate data without detection. It will become more clearer as we progress in this video. Let me show you how this all looks in action. In my terminal, I'll hash the string hello using MD5 and SHA-256. Notice the wildly different digests, 64 hex characters for SHA-256 versus 32 for MD5. If I just add a period to the input, the entire hash changes automatically. You see, this hash is just not matching the above one. Shasam, same algorithm. Similarly, let's do for MD5. Again, this hash doesn't match this hash at all. I just added one period each. And if I repeat these functions, I get the exact same digest every time. So let's do, if I repeat this, I get exact same hash, even the second time. Similarly, for SHA-256, I get the exact same hash, second time as well. So this shows the deterministic nature of hashes. Also, looking at the digest itself, you can never guess that the actual message was hello or hello period, whatever. So you cannot reconstruct the original message from the hash, unlike encryption, where you can actually decrypt the data. Both have different purposes in security and are used for relevant use cases. Let's focus on hashing for today. So how does hashing help us detect tampering? Let's see with the previous example. This time CyberSakhi not only encrypts her message, but she also computes the hash of that encrypted message. She sends both to the bank, the brown lockbox and the slip of paper which has the hash of that ciphertext printed on it. Joker changes the ciphertext in between. So when the bank gets this tampered lockbox or the ciphertext, it recomputes the hash of that ciphertext. We just saw in the previous demo that every time we compute the hash of a same string, we get the same hash. That is, hashes are deterministic. Also, due to collision resistance property, Joker can't easily make a different ciphertext that somehow yields the same hash. Due to these properties of hashes, right away the bank knows somebody must have tampered with this ciphertext because this hash doesn't belong to this ciphertext. So no need to unlock it or read it. Hash mismatch equals to red flag. They just discard it. But here's the catch. If Joker can intercept the ciphertext, who is stopping him from computing the hash of that ciphertext and replacing the hash as well? Then the bank would have no clue that the cipher has been tampered with. That's the problem with a plain unprotected hash. It doesn't prove who made it. Looks like our problems are just not ending. Joker is always beating us. Security is this beautiful match between the evil and good, black and white. The good guys are just good enough. That's why this game is so fun.
So what's next? We need to tie this hash to a secret that only the real sender knows. That's called message authentication or HMAC. Alternatively, we use digital signatures to provide authenticity with private and public keys. That's our next topic. Stay tuned. And hey, if you are liking this series, drop a comment below, share your feedback, subscribe, and don't be like Joker.